was waiting to tell you guys this when we got on, just because it was easier. So listen to this. So I go out to dinner with my best friend and his wife last night, and he asked me to be his son's godfather. And he somehow it came up that I'm going to Nashville, and he's like, "When is that?" So of course the christening is already booked for Sunday, May 1st.
Oh my God!
Well, I might as well break this news then.
Oh
no.
My God!
What?
I knew this was going to happen.
His sister's getting married on that Saturday. So,
Who is your sister?
My sister.
Your sister.
My sister. Yeah.
Real life right now? Really happening?
What's that?
This is real life right now?
This is real life. I'm flying out Saturday morning to go to the wedding, but then I'm going to fly back Saturday night.
Damn! That's a commitment.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of 5 Idiots Talking Toys. We are going to jump back into our interview with Eric Baker. He was a creative director at Galaxy's Edge in both Disney World in Florida and Disneyland in California. And he was the prop master general and took all the care and put all the work in, the attention to detail in the parks. So if you've been to the parks, if you've enjoyed all of the Easter eggs that you've seen around, all the hints to your favorite characters, all the throwbacks to the original trilogy storyline and characters. We're going to jump back in with Eric now, hear a little bit more about that and the public's reaction, what his thoughts were after the park was opened. So please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and comment your thoughts after watching. And let's jump right back now in with Eric Baker.
So is that worth it? For the Build the Saber, because I was going to book it and I saw the price and I'm like, I don't even know if it's even worth it.
Easy, it's great. I've honestly never done it. I've never even seen it. I mean, the people that do it think it's amazing.
Price?
I know the price is. I don't know what it is. It's like $200 now or something.
Yeah, it's like $260, I think, for you to build a lightsaber.
Wow.
Per person?
Well, for your son, yeah, it would be $260, and then one of the guests has to be, I don't know, 17 or older, or 18 or older, and then you can only watch.
Oh my
God!
But Charles, that's only like a third of a red bar.
Yeah,
you sell a red bar, and your whole family can have lightsabers.
I'm not saying that it's severely overpriced. It just.
Yeah.
Is the experience worth it, though? That's really what I was asking.
I think the people that I've talked to that have done it, love it. I mean, they say it's amazing. Like I said, I unfortunately have never even seen it other than when they were rehearsing and stuff before the park opened. So I've never seen the finished show there. But everyone says it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And once again, I've seen grown men come out of there crying with their lightsaber that they built.
Another Brandon walking out crying.
I think
another question for you:
if Shane goes there and sees the short V Gonk, he might start crying from that.
Yeah, do you have a short
life?
There are gonks all over the park, all over the park. Is
That's
there
awesome.
a short V Gonk?
I don't think so.
Are you familiar with the short V variant?
That's how rare they are. Disney Park doesn't even have one, guys. So rare.
So rare.
So Eric, you said you were working on the Star Wars hotel also, or?
Yeah, I did a few things for the hotel. Nothing exciting. I mean, things like helping them out with luggage carts, things like that.
How do you think that's going to be?
We made a rug that, a rug with the hotel logo on it that's in the entrance, and nothing. I mean, I did a lot of stuff for. I did some stuff for a commercial. There's a commercial for the Star Cruiser that should start airing, where I got to build a coaxium tube from Solo, the Solo film. Got to build a coaxium tube and a holocron that lit up that they used in the commercial. And then for the Disney Christmas special, they weren't finished with the bar yet in the hotel, so I got to go in and dress the bar for the Christmas special, and they filmed a little bit, and then we struck it all, and then they came back and put the real dressing in later.
What's the timeline on that? Like,
it opens tomorrow. Yeah, it opens tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They've been having. See, now you guys have got to get big enough where you can get invited to these press events.
Yeah. No.
They
Only in Denmark.
Press events for
they need a Disney in Denmark, and then we'll go.
Yeah. But they've been having press events all week, and they just yesterday they lifted the embargo on the media so they could release everything they've seen. So you probably noticed the internet's been flooded with stuff about the Star Cruiser, and it all sounds really great. It's gotten really positive reviews from the media anyway.
So Eric, it does sound like the park, again, I haven't been there, but it sounds like there's really something for everyone there in terms of, the things that really like hit your heartstrings. All of us here on the show have a Focus collector, character in the vintage line. We know you're a vintage collector as well. Leia in the Bosch disguise is me, and we were watching the Galaxy's Edge episode, just sitting with my daughter earlier today, getting ready to speak to you tonight. And her helmet is up there in the ceiling somewhere. We caught it. We had to pause it, rewind it. We were very excited. But it sounds like everybody who has a certain love in the Galaxy, you're probably going to find some little clue, some little Easter egg somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we tried to pull from every bit of Star Wars that we could. I mean, even there's stuff from in the antiquarian. There's a helmet from Star Wars Rebels that's in there, from the animated series, and we tried to pick some really obscure stuff from all over the universe.
Did the ice cream maker make it in there?
Yes, there is one in the Rise of the Resistance queue line, and
Wow.
This was before they made the appearance in the Mandalorian. So it looks like the one from Cloud City, not what you see in the Mandalorian.
Okay,
That's cool.
they made a toy of that guy that's running around. I forgot what his name is, but I saw it for sale somewhere. I thought it was pretty funny.
Well,
He's got his own figure.
Have you been to like Star Wars Celebration or one of the big conventions where they have whole gangs of people dressed as him that run around the convention?
I'll be going to the one this year, so I'll see if they're running around.
I mean, there'll be 20 people dressed as him running around with ice cream makers. It's hilarious. But yeah, we did. There is one in the Rise of the Resistance queue line. I can't remember where it is, but yeah, there's an ice cream maker in there.
So I have a question about the props and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Now, how many of those were like just cast or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And then how many did you kind of modify from something else? And how did you acquire the stuff that you modified to make it look like a Star Wars prop?
Well, there's a wide variety. All of the Stormtrooper helmets that you see in Dockendars, or I would say 90% of the Stormtrooper and fighter pilot helmets in Dockendars were made by Pierre Bohanna, who built all the helmets for the new films. So we hired him. So like the Stormtrooper helmets you see in there are the classic Stormtrooper helmets are the classic Stormtrooper helmets from Rogue One. Because in Rogue One, you may or may not know, they went back. Everything that was a decal in the original films, they made an actually detailed piece for Rogue One. So like the grills on the helmet that were just a stick-on decal before, now like actually cut into the helmet. And one of the closest things to it that I've seen is the Black Series classic Stormtrooper helmet that Hasbro made, the full size. That's very close to the Rogue One helmets because they put all that detail in there. So anyway, Pierre's team did a lot of that. There's a lot of stuff that we bought just offline from people that were making and selling things, and some of it was very bad. So if you see something that's very badly damaged, battle damaged, it's probably because it didn't look very good.
And then
So we made it look like it was blown up, and just behind the droid shop, there's a cage that has a couple of battle droids in it. And they were when we got them, we bought them from a vendor in a foreign country somewhere. I can't remember where, but they were not screen accurate at all. So we busted them up and blew them up and cracked them open, and they look great now.
yeah.
But it was stuff that the fans would have called us on if we had left them just the way they were and stuck them in there. And then, a lot of the stuff, the first year that I was on the project, I just traveled around buying junk to build stuff out of, because everything in the Star Wars world is made out of, the thing that makes Star Wars so appealing, I think, is that people recognize everything and go, it's something, but you don't know what it is because it's actually something that came from our world to make something that's in that world. So I hired a girl who was one of the shoppers on the Star Wars films to take me to all the places in England where they buy stuff. So I traveled. I took my whole crew. We went to England and spent 2 weeks traveling around, going to all these military auctions and aircraft salvage places where they shop for the films, and buying the same things that they bought for the films. So when we built our stuff, it fit into that world still. And then one of the rules that they followed on the newer films is you couldn't build stuff out of anything that was made after 1980, because the original films were all made pre-1980. So they kind of stuck to that. So like if you were using parts of a copy machine, it had to be a Xerox machine that was pre-1980, So we tried to do the same thing and try to stick to those same rules. And if we did build something from scratch, we tried to, use vintage pieces like they did. One thing we did, we bought a lot from military auctions in the U.S., from government auctions and stuff. And so you would go online and bid on things. And one time we accidentally won a semi-truckload of rifle racks for $50, I think. We never thought we would win it. And so we ended up with a semi-truckload of rifle racks. So we tried to make as many different things out of rifle racks as we could in the park. So you'll see them everywhere from in the Ronto Roasters restaurant. There's a military rifle rack on the wall, but it's holding cutting devices that they use to chop the meat up at Ronto Roasters and all.
Eric, let me ask you, what struggles did you and your team have in the process? Like, what was the thing maybe that you struggled the most with, and to follow up with that, what was like the most satisfying triumph you had in the park? Something that you really wanted to accomplish, you wanted to look a certain way, and it was just a big win in the end.
Well, Dockendars I've talked about a lot. The antiquarian is definitely the big win. That was just my dream thing to get to build. And
what was the biggest struggle?
The biggest struggle was just coming up with the things, like I said, the everyday things, like what does this stormtrooper set his helmet on? Just the everyday stuff. We had to make a kiln for the jeweler's shop, and it's like, what does a kiln look like in the Star Wars world? And tables, just like a table, a workbench. Just the simplest things that are in the everyday world. Coming up with those and designing them to look like they belong in the Star Wars world. And I'm happy to say that we very quickly built a trust with Lucasfilm. They understood that we got it and just let us go crazy. We spent a lot of time with Doug Chang. He would come and hang out at our shop all the time and see what we were building. And so, yeah, that was,
Has the public responded to the various aspects of the park, how you thought they would? It seems like the response has been pretty positive in general, but once the park opened and you were able to, hear some chatter or see some feedback in any way, how did you take that? Was it as expected?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, I think it's more positive than I had expected. Because Star Wars fans, me being one, are the hardest people in the world to please, a lot of times, and they can be pretty harsh too. And I think for the most part, we were pretty well received by the majority of the fans. I think they really liked what we did. I mean, there are people that don't get it, but I mean, I'm a member of several fan groups on Facebook because I just enjoy seeing how much fun the people are having with it. The people that go do what they call bounding, where they dress up and go to the park, and they spend time building these costumes, and there's a whole fan group that builds covers for your phone, so it looks like a Star Wars device when you're playing the online game that you can play while you're in the park. And I mean, even the droid, there's a droid builders that buys the little droids from the droid shop, and they completely modify them and repaint them and make them into these beautiful droids. And so I really enjoy watching, following these groups and seeing the amazing stuff that these people are doing. And I mean, much like with Harry Potter, I mean, there's people that go and spend their entire vacation just in that world because they want to be in Star Wars. They will, people will go and spend 3 or 4 days just there and never go see anything else at Disney.
Well, you're right. Star Wars fans can be very harsh. They're very critical. Our own Christopher stopped watching the Book of Boba Fett after the 3rd episode. Just quit.
Probably one of those on TV episodes 1 through 4 was just pure garbage.
I struggle. I mean, I'll admit I struggled to get through them. I was not a huge fan, but at the same time, I think I want to build a set of that Boba armor. I really liked his costume in there. A lot of people don't, but once again, I bought the Black Series helmet, the Boba repaint helmet that they did from Hasbro, and so I've got to watch it again and see if it grows on me. The whole thing with the flashbacks, they just drug out way too much. I thought that's just went on forever. And,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
If you can go back and update the park down the road, just leave out Book of Boba, leave out the Power Rangers, leave out all that stuff. Just leave.
Yeah.
What about the rainbow scooters? Is there any plans for the rainbow scooters in the
The
park?
rainbow scooters I could not stand. And it's funny, I've got a friend who's a huge Lost in Space fan, the classic Lost in Space, and he immediately posted a picture from the vintage Lost in Space where they did an episode with space bikers, and they totally ripped it off for Book of Boba.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, go back and look up space bikers on Lost in Space. They totally stole it from there for Book of Boba.
I'll have to check that out for sure.
Yeah.
So I have a question that all the fans, they've been writing me. They want to know. The question that they want you to answer the most is blue milk or green milk?
Oh, that's a tough one. I actually like the green milk, with the alcohol in it, of course. But no, I like I like them both, but I like the green milk the best.
I think
Charles, did you get to try the milk?
Blue milk.
Blue milk.
Brandon, what about you?
I haven't tried it yet.
The fuzzy tauntaun at the cantina.
I started to say drinks in the cantina are awesome.
I go to the cantina and drink for as long as I can. I don't buy the blue milk. I just go and I drink, and I like the atmosphere. That's one of my favorite places. and the antiquities room. I could spend a lot of time in the bar and in the den of antiquities because there's always something, every time I walk in there, there's something new that I hadn't seen before that was obviously there, but I just didn't have enough time to really dive in there. And there's always like a ton of people in there. So it's kind of hard to move around. Sure. Every time I go, I see something new. I went to go fill up my water bottle next to the bathroom that's there, and the trash monster, the Dianoga pokes his eyeball up, and I didn't know that was there the first time I went and did that. And then the second time I filled up my water bottle, I'm like, oh, geez. This eyeball staring at me right in the face, so. And that's probably the nicest bathroom in the entire theme park. Is right there at Galaxy's Edge. That's my spot. That's where I go.
Yeah, and Eric, so Brandon gets upset that he can't tour the actual Millennium Falcon. So what he does is he goes over to the cantina and just drinks himself silly till he thinks he's on the Millennium Falcon. And then it's problem solved.
There's nothing wrong with that. I have no problem with that at all. I've never been to I got to go to the cantina at the grand opening party in Los Angeles or in Anaheim, but I've never been in the cantina as a guest because I can't get in. It's always booked. I've been thrown out of the cantina trying to get in, but
How is that possible? Someone who's was a creative director and built half the park. How are you not able to, with a Disney Connect, get yourself into the park? Are you kidding me?
I don't know. The only time I've been in there, did we go in there? Yeah, the only time I've been in there since it opened was I got to give Adam Savage a tour of Galaxy's Edge a couple of months ago, and we got to go in there, but it wasn't open yet, so I didn't get to have a drink or anything. But
did you eat Bob Iger's lunch out of the company refrigerator? I mean, what happened here?
I don't know. Disney, the guests are the most important things, so they go first, I guess. So.
It's not the first time I've heard. I know of another guy, a friend of a friend, that helped build, some parts of Galaxy's Edge, and he went with the friend of mine, and the same thing. I was like, hey, so did you get head of line privileges and get in through all these places and all? He's like, no, they treat everybody the same. Like, he couldn't get in anywhere, even though he said he was so-and-so. And
I learned a long time ago that no one cares who you are, so you never say, don't you know who I am, because they don't care. So, I want to go. I want to give it a try. I want to get the mugs that they sell, the tiki style mugs that they have in there. But I just haven't. Like I said, I've only been back once or twice since it opened. I really want to go back.
I got the Rancor teeth.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I got from Galaxy's Edge. But no, I did also get the little mouse droid.
Oh yeah, the little radio mouse droid. Yeah,
that came with the nachos.
Yeah. Cool.
I got that.
That's awesome.
Eric, I was going to ask you. Now you just said you've been back once or twice at least, so now I feel like I can ask you this. When you do the times that you have been in the park after it's been open, can you allow yourself to be immersed in the experience in any way? Or, I think of myself and the jobs I had when I was younger. When I go back to those places, I can't see them the way that, the average customer can. So are you able to, because it's an experience, it's not a restaurant that you used to work at or something like that. Are you able to, put yourself into the park and the experience, or are you just constantly analyzing things and finding yourself in that old work mode of remembering what you did and is it still look right, or what you wish you did this or whatever?
Yeah, I'm that person. I'm constantly in that work mode, and my wife hates going to the parks with me because I'm constantly taking pictures with my phone, going, "Wait, they need to fix that. They need to fix that. This is wrong." So no, I unfortunately can't let go of it. And
does anything come of that though? Do you text those photos over to somebody who could still make something happen?
Oh no, I do. Yeah, I'll send it to the top people and say, "Hey, what the hell? Why is it like this? You need to be taking care of this. I worked hard."
Yeah. So, what does the future hold for you right now? As far as I know, you said that you're working on helping with the Star. What is it called? The Star Wars hotel.
Galactic Star Cruiser.
The Galactic Star Cruiser. I know you're working with that. Is there anything else that you can tell us about that you're working on right now, or?
Well, I mean, like I said, I'll be going to Dollywood on Tuesday and doing some work for Dollywood for what they call their Summer Fest next year, and I'm working on Epic Adventure, Universal's new theme park. I'm helping out with that, and and then I just keep my fingers crossed every day that they're going to call and say that we're doing an expansion of Galaxy's Edge, because that was one of the coolest things with Potter was, we built the original Hogsmeade, and then 8 months later they said, wow, this is great, let's build Diagon Alley. So it's not often you get a chance to go back and try and do something better than you did it the first time. And
Diagon Alley is amazing too.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry to say with Diagon, I think we definitely blew away what we did originally with Hogsmeade, and I'd love to get a chance to do that with Galaxy's Edge. So I keep hoping that, COVID's just thrown the world into such a weird place right now, and the theme parks are still recovering because they were shut down for months, and that's a massive part of Disney's business is the theme park.
That's probably
it's going to take them a while to recover before they start building new stuff. So hopefully things will turn around quick.
That's probably why they're charging $270 to build a lightsaber.
No kidding. Yeah, really. Yeah, they got to.
Yeah, and it's not even fair, even whatever knowledge you had of the whole park, it's not even fair to ask at this point if they're going to, if they have any plans to expand past the current footprint, because they were stunted for a year and a half, year plus.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like they're going to have to, get back to the happy place where they're motoring along, and then they can start considering those things. And you may be, privy to some of the things that were in an original plan and didn't come to fruition, or, were thoughts that could be built and, there wasn't enough room for it or time for it. So there's probably, a library of things that they would love to tackle.
Yeah. There's lots of stuff, lots of places we could go with it. And there's definitely room for expansion around the lands. They had planned on, built them with the idea of expansion at some point. So hopefully that will happen soon. I hope, because we had just opened Florida really when COVID hit. And so they haven't seen the full potential of the money-making power of it yet, I don't think, because things are just starting to get back to normal enough for them to really, see what a financial impact it has for the company. And, I hope
they got to the point where they had to start selling Galaxy's Edge stuff in Target. You remember with some of the Black series, because they had all this merchandise, lined up and planned, and all of a sudden they had nowhere to sell it, so as smart as Disney is, it made a lot of sense, right? Because all of a sudden they're now promoting their park, once it can be open again in places like Target, and drumming up the interest there.
It's because the Disney stores closed, and now they opened up the Disney stores in Target as a little subsection there.
Yeah. They, what was funny was, not funny, but I talked to a friend who was at Galaxy's Edge, I don't know, a month or two ago. And he said the shelves are bare because now they're out of merchandise, because everything, when they opened back up, everything sold so fast. Everything else was floating out in ships in the ocean trying to get into the parks, So, a couple of months ago when my friend went, he said there was nothing on the shelves, that it was just bare.
I have another question, Eric.
Yeah.
So when you're walking through Disney, they have the tunnels that are like right on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any near the Star Wars land?
There's not. And I don't think any of the Disney parks other than the Magic Kingdom have that. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
There are passageways. There are like some of the, actual walkways up above and stuff where it looks like a bridge crosses or whatever. Those are actually working bridges for actors that can cross on those and stuff.
So there's
Eric,
none of that
the
in
unique-
Anaheim at all? No tunnels in Anaheim?
I don't think so. I think it's just Orlando at the moment. I mean, and I may be wrong, but as far as I know, it's just Orlando. And because I think Walt was inspired to do the tunnels based on Anaheim. He didn't like the fact that somebody working in Tomorrowland was having to walk through Fantasyland with their costume on because it took them out of the story. So he built the tunnel. In Florida, they built the tunnels, and they're actually not tunnels. They're actually built at ground level, and then they covered over them with dirt. So they're, because if you put a tunnel in Florida, it's underwater usually. So the tunnels are actually built at ground level. But they did that, or Walt did that in Florida because he didn't want to see an employee from Tomorrowland walking through Fantasyland or whatever with the wrong costume on, because it takes people out of the story.
So Eric, we know that the two parks, the two Disney parks, there are quite a few differences, and Disney World is just larger in general, and there's multiple parks. But in terms of Galaxy's Edge, is there any discernible difference in what is available to people as they visit? Do you notice the difference if you visit both of them, and what can you describe there?
There's really not a discernible difference other than in California there's 3 entrances into Batu, and in Florida there's just 2. But other than that, there's no really discernible difference. I think they're flipped like a mirror image of each other, kind of. I think, but you don't notice that when you're in there. I mean, they look. Everything about them is pretty much identical. I mean,
Did you go about just creating 2 of everything, and as part of your process then?
Yeah, we did, but the cool thing about it is because we were building stuff out of junk and recycled items, is nothing's exactly the same. So yeah, we built 2 of something, but they're just similar. They're not identical. So I mean, things like Stormtrooper helmets and stuff we made identical as possible, but anything that we custom built, they're similar, but they're different. So you'll see different things in each place, and they're definitely not identical as far as the props and set dressing, because we changed things up a little bit. I mean, there was stuff that we did in California that we probably didn't like as much, so we changed it up when we did Florida and things like that.
So out of those 2, which one is your favorite?
I've got to say Florida is my favorite, just because we had 6 months longer to do Florida than we did California. And so by the time we were, the props and set dressing are the last thing to go in usually. So by the time we were installing the props and set dressing in Florida, anything that we had left over in our warehouse, we put in there. So to me, it's a lot fuller world than California was. So yeah, my favorite one's Florida anyway.
All right, so Florida is the official winner, folks. If you're going to plan a trip, you're going to see slightly different props.
Yeah.
But it's really an East Coast, West Coast thing, right? Depending on where you are in the country, you're going to make the beeline trip to the closer park, probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I just want to say on behalf of all of us, a huge thank you to you, Eric Baker, for joining us. This was really fun to talk about, even though I haven't gotten to see it yet, but now I'm even more excited to see it. So
You gotta go. I want to see you cry when you see the Millennium Falcon. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you a clip.
Okay.
It really is amazing. It really is. And I'd like to say thanks, Eric, too.
You're welcome.
For joining us tonight, and for all the hard work you put into creating this world for us Star Wars nerds.
Oh, it was a dream come true, believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
Eric, I hope you will join us again. See the collection that you have. I'm sure you have some unique stuff. I'm sure you have some props and things, or prop-like items from the work that you've done across multiple parks.
Yeah,
That'll be great. Reminder again, please, everyone, subscribe to the channel. Tell us what you thought about this interview. I'm sure it's going to be a two-parter. So here we are at the end. You've watched part 2, and let us know what you thought. If you have any questions, Eric is going to hopefully join us again, and we can maybe fire off a couple quick questions to him if you visited the parks and you have a thought there. Like the video and please join us again for future episodes. Eric, once again, thanks so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure. We appreciate your time.
Oh, you're awesome, guys. This was a blast. I really enjoyed it.
Were you nervous
Thanks,
about
Eric.
joining 5 Idiots?
What?
Were you nervous about joining a show called 5 Idiots?
No, because I'm an idiot too. So I feel like I'm with my people here.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Cool. Y'all take it easy. Let me know when you want me to come back.
All right. We definitely will.
Okay. Have a good day.
So that was fun to talk to Eric, guys. Again, just learning about the parks and just hearing all the effort and the time that went into it, the attention to detail. I'm sure the attention to detail was really in Eric's wheelhouse, so that was kind of his role. But I can't wait to get there. I know you guys have enjoyed it. You've been there already, 3 of you. But I hope all of our fans enjoyed watching this episode and learning about the parks.